Hi everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Flora Finds. I got Jadzia here with me, as you can see, and we are doing another Albany album update. It's been a little while. Album 20 took me a while to list, in part because we had over 140 cards in that album, which is not a lot. I can list that in a day or two. Um, but the latter half of the album, the Continentals, were a little less exciting this time, and I've been having a lot of fun listing the real photos and airbrush and some of the other lots I've been getting in on whatnot in eBay. So I took a little bit of a break, but I'm going to start adding these albums into my well, I already have started adding these albums into my scheduled listings. So at least 3 listings a day will come from these albums, but of course I can add these cards into any other slot. If I have a whole album of French cards, I can put them all in the. You get the idea. Anyways, let's take a look. So 140 cards listed from album 20 for a total of $1,715 asking price. I've already sold 6 from that album for a total of $66.09 after shipping and fees, which means I'm already in the profit on that album. Again, if it's been a while, well, it has been a while. If you haven't seen the older videos, basically every album cost roughly $50. So already in the green on album 20. And if you look over here, you can see most of the albums that I've listed so far are now in the green, with only a few hanging on in the red, and all the ones in the red are half paid off or more. So that's good. Look at the overall overview here. I've sold 185 cards, items from the Albany haul so far. I've listed 2,698. So that's 6.9% of what is listed has sold so far. What's fun for me, what's exciting for me is I've listed maybe less than a third of the albums that I've gotten in this lot. So less than a third of the albums are listed, and I've already made 42% of the money back, so $1,500 out of the $3,500 I paid, which is pretty good. So I am very comfortable that I will easily make my money back on this lot and then far exceed it. Um, it's just going to take some time. It's going to take me time to list it. If I wasn't doing all this tracking and doing these videos, I could bang that out much faster because I would sort things and list them by similar items and so forth. But I like this tracking. I think it's fun for me. I think it's hopefully interesting for you guys, um, just to see how we go. So that's enough of that. I'm going to show you album 21, and then I'll get started listing on that. So let's take a look. Alrighty, so let's get into the haul here. There's about 90 some odd cards in this album, so a little quicker than the last one, I think. We're gonna start off with the real photo postcards. And I didn't do as much of a dive into these cards beforehand as I've done with some in the past, but this one's really cool. They got some interesting hats there. Some sort of ceremony, I would presume. European, I would guess. That's really cool. A real photo postcard. So that'll be an interesting one to research. There's not much written on the back, and certainly nothing I can read anyways. That's the back there. Alrighty, let's see. Another real photo front staircase in the Lawn Cleat house. I don't know where that is, but I'm sure that'll be easy to find. Pretty little staircase though. Nothing on the back. Another real photo. Beautiful young woman there. Studio portrait. It's got a nice little choker style necklace kind of thing. Got some earrings. Floral hat. Really nice. Let's see. Oops. A little bit of writing on the back. I'm assuming that's probably just the studio, but we'll do a little bit of looking. And there's some information on the front here too, which I cannot translate off the cuff. But that's a nice card. Nice clean composition on that one. Alrighty. This one is actually another real photo, but this one's been hand colored. Quite honestly, looking at the card in person, I can't tell if it's like someone went with marker or if it's a real proper hand tint. Let me know what you think. I'm really not sure about this one. In any case, not colored well. So I don't have high hopes for this one. It'll probably be a basic price, but was written on the back anyways. To Sean, I guess. Or from Sean, a Sean. Anyways, so some flowers, real photo. All right, this one, we got a harbor scene. Let's see, Akara Harbor? Someplace? Last Christmas I went to... I don't know. Anyways, I'll have to do research on this like all of them, but some neat little boats here. We got a person walking along the side of the river. It's a nice scene. That's the back there, a little bit written on. It's something about last Christmas I went to this dear little place for my holidays. I had such a good time climbing the hills. This place is something Peninsula. Banks Peninsula? I don't know. That'll be a little fun one to look at. Looks like we got the interior of a church here. I don't know. Is this a... I don't think this is a memorial scene. It's just like a church festival, church event. But anyways, nice decor in there, nice flowers and plants and such. I'll have to see if I can nail that one down. I'm not sure if this is like Christmas garland or what's going on. As always, if you have any insights, I always appreciate it. Some of you have left some great comments in the past that have been very helpful. Sometimes I have these listed before I get your comments, and I go back and do little revisions. So, Azo back, but otherwise blank. All right, I think that's it for real photos in this album. A bit of a, only a few, but that's okay. That's enough to pay for the album on its own, probably. All right, here we got some nice horse-drawn carriage. I really like this style. I've been picking this style up more on purpose, but it's sort of like just a floated illustration kind of look to it. But two persons on the carriage here, a bunch of horses. Photo Globe is what it says on the side here, Zurich, so Switzerland. So undivided back, but a nice card. Probably about $10-15 would be my guess. So we must be in the foreign batch. That's out of order. This one's interesting. We got witches, I guess, maybe? Whole bunch of witches with their brooms. Anthropomorphic moon. Gonna have to Google what that is. Unfortunately, we do got some rough edging on this one, but this might be the card of the album anyways. I didn't really notice this when I went through the first time and scanned it. We got a bat flying through there. We just need a black cat and we're good. We got the witch flying on the broom. Oh, this one's really cool. I don't know how I didn't notice this before. So that one might be good despite the condition. That's certainly going to detract with the value, but that's really cool. Is postally used, foreign, Halloween. Something about in England, but anyways, that's a cool card. All right, Statue of Liberty. Wrong country. Eiffel Tower. This one's all lit up. Little chevron shapes on there. I'm not sure if that's significant or not. But this will be my first Eiffel Tower I have listed. Surprisingly enough, we do have a artist signature there. This one's neat. I don't know how well Eiffel Towers do. I imagine they're common cards, but with anything, if you get the right view, and not unused on the back there. All right, we got Mount Vesuvius in the background. If it was erupting, I might keep it, but this one I'll let go. We got little sailing boats and such in the front there. Dated April 21st, 1901 on the front, and as you'd expect, undivided back on the back. The Mercy Tunnel, Liverpool. Nice little tunnel view, unused. Got a bridge scene, Bannockburn. I'm assuming we're still in the UK. Interesting little stone bridge. Looks like we got some people looking there. Unused on the back. Oop. Cards were out of order. Here we got another bridge though. little footbridge, it looks like. France, perhaps? But pretty little scene. These don't typically go for much in my experience. I think mostly because the majority of the buyers are overseas. But they still sell, and I've been listening more foreign on purpose lately. These albums have helped open my eyes. That's one thing I like about these albums is they're so different, and a lot of it is different from what I normally pick up. So I learn things, I learn what sells, and I become more comfortable with some of these categories that I typically ignore, and that a lot of other people ignore, which means there's a bit of a niche for it. So, or need, maybe not niche. Anyways, here's a lovely airbrush card. I have really been enjoying the airbrush lately, and I've not seen this one before. I'm assuming those are supposed to be, red raspberries of some sort. But beautifully airbrushed. They did a really nice job with the color. You got the gold leaf there, um, and heavily embossed, unused. So that one probably, if I can't find any comps for it, I'll list it around 20. But my guess is probably it'll sell between 10 and 15. Alrighty, little palm trees, blue card. So we're into the U.S. now. Tropical Postcard Club. Boynton Beach? I don't know. Florida. So I think these are all. No, guess not. So here we got another floral print. So we must be just doing florals here for a little bit. This one's a Mainzer card. It's got some roses. I've not seen this style before. It's almost got a watercolory-esque look to it. I'm familiar with most of Mainzer's flower style, but I haven't seen that one before. So that's different. Cards in rough condition. These ones that have the gold background often are. The gold seems to chip a lot. Sometimes I lot these up, but probably only $5.50, $6 on that. But a little bouquet of flowers and a little saying going on there. Postally used. 4-leaf clover. Nothing wild and crazy there. Love symbols? Is that what that says? Love symbols? So pansies, thoughts of thee. Might be able to get away listing this as a Valentine's Day card, but pretty there nonetheless. Written on, but not sent. Easter-esque. Got some, what are these, lilies or daffodils? I always get my lilies and daffodils confused. Probably both, actually. The yellow's the daffodil and the white are lilies. All right. Keep trucking on. Keep on trucking. I can read, I swear. That's an interesting card. 1975 by Paula. Do got some discoloration there, but I've not seen this before, so it could be interesting for some truckers out there. More discoloration on the back. And the Paula Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's take a quick break here. Okay, continuing on. We're into some typography here. This one's a little bit embossed, but if you don't want to be nibbled, don't play with the bunny. Sage advice, I suppose. Here we go. Blank back. Also the Paula Company, Cincinnati. No amount of planning will ever replace dumb luck. Probably true. Lots of discoloration on this one, but otherwise fine. Same company, 1977. Paula's motto cards. So there you go. That gives you something to look up if you're interested. I dreamed I was kissing you last night. And when I woke up, I was so excited I said the 4-letter word. Yum. Oh, dear. All right, here we go. We got some Japanese glass balls. Why? I don't know why. These glass floats come from across the Pacific. Yeah, okay. Well, we got Japanese glass balls. Kids are having fun. There you go. All right. What is it? Merry Widow hat. So big old large hat there. These can be collectible. I did actually have someone at the estate sale try to buy these off me as I was buying the whole collection, and I was like, I need to do my due diligence on these first. I didn't even really know what I would price them at on the spot, so So there were a few others of these floating around in the albums, but Merry Widow, I don't know if I've ever listed one before, so I'll have to do some work on that. We've got a little romance happening in the back seat. Looks like Cupid's behind the wheel. We're going some, apparently. We got a little copyright there, 1908. So I'll probably cross-list this as a Valentine's card. Gee, it was cold. I don't know if that's a... Well, anyways, you can use your imagination. They're having fun. All right, sister ship of the Spirit of St. Louis flying over Washington from Washington. So, plane going there. A little bit of condition issue, but not too bad. Some discoloration down there. There's the back. So you can pause that, read the history there. Got another motto going on here. If the thing a man wants to do is right, he goes ahead and does it. If it is wrong, he consults an attorney. Not so sure about all that, but there we are. More discoloration on that one. That doesn't seem to be Apollo, though. This one's something different. But here we go. We got a Zeppelin, war airship. I've always talking about these because I'm determined to find some good ones. This one's got a little bit of condition issue here, but otherwise, it's really neat. I've not seen this one before, so fingers crossed that this one is a good one. We'll find out. More discoloration on the back, so this definitely has some more rough cards. But the topics are interesting, so that helps. All right, this one's a little smaller than average. Got a little cartoonish scene here. These next couple are riddles, and I'm no paperboy and Confucius jokes of the week or whatever, but we'll do what we can here. What does a cruise ship completely loaded with giants weigh when it leaves shore? It weighs anchor. You can all explain it to me if you get it. I'm not a joke person. I don't get jokes. What do you do with a green monster? You wait until it ripens. But this one was sent in to a radio station, so that's kind of cool. Niagara Square station in Buffalo, New York. Pin Pal. So I'm not sure if this was for like a pin sweepstakes or what the deal was. Anytime I see that, I do mention it in the listing. I have no evidence that it's helped me at all, but it's different enough that I do put that in there. And this was postmarked in 75, Buffalo, New York. So, more discoloration on that one, discoloration on this one, creasing, rough edge. Perhaps you forgot to mail us that order. So this is another order form. We did sell the coffee order form from the last album. You probably saw in the What Sold. Some more creasing here. But I'm not sure what this one is specifically looking for. This one's not quite as clear, but clearly that guy's concerned about it. 1908, Ohio postmark. That one's going to be tough just because of the condition, but we'll do our best with it. My train was late. A cartoon, undivided back, Mount Oliver, Pennsylvania, 1912 it looks like. So the card's undivided back, but 1912 I believe is usually divided back era. But anyways. All right. What do you mean, just a lion? Okay, so it's a doctor appointment reminder card for Hollywood, Florida. Undivided back, 1904. That's neat. Basket of Peaches. Got a little romance humor going on there. Again, condition on this album's a little rough, but just like the topics in here. 1913, Toronto, Canada. All right, never felt any better in my life. And he's giving you a little wink there. Who knows what's happening under the waves. Baltimore, Maryland, 19-something. Divided back, though. Some more romance comics here. I'm gonna steal yet. So, doing laundry back there. She's blushing something fierce. Then we got double cancellation on the back, but postmark 1908, Illinois. Got some buffalo or bison, Yellowstone National Park. This is a Red Haines. I know some Red Haines are supposed to be good. It can depend on the number. I am not an expert in that. I know Popeye has a video on that, but it might be in his members only. I don't know, but I might have to go back and rewatch that before I list this. But I'll do my due diligence as I try to do with all these cards. Tell him it's Nellie, so she's giving a call to her bow, I presume. This one's been in an album. You can see the corner discoloration there. And you got some tape residue and tape discoloration on the back. Postmark 1911. Alrighty. Some sort of scene going on here. What do we got? I am not sure, but we got... looks like maybe someone on horseback there, and then some people seated. Not sure. Oh, big old mushrooms or something. I don't know what's happening here. Big old tree in the foreground, it looks like. Received your AOL letter, 1944. Not so bad, we'll write later. Yeah, I'll have to see if there's anything else on the back here that helps, but nothing obvious to me. Let's see, passed by Abbey Examiner, Westport, Connecticut. I don't know, it's definitely got a lot of interesting stuff going on the back. It is a World War II era U.S. Army Postal Service, 1944. Corporal GC something. Yeah, so there's some interesting information on the back there that may help this card out overall. All right, we got a little sunset, sunrise thing going on here. It's a couple card, but other than that, we don't got any identifications. About $5. We got a rocket launch of some sort. Man to the Moon. I don't know if I have this in my collection, but I'll probably part with it anyways. Just because I have a lot of NASA and astronomy cards, and I don't feel like checking this one at this point, unless I look this up and it turns out to be like a really high value card, and then I'll check it. But the early bird catches the worm. This lady's got a chicken on her head, and he's stung. I presume that means she's the worm in this case, and he's the early bird, if you follow the metaphor. But nice illustration on that one. Condition not too bad on this card. Okay, yeah. Chantler series. If you may recall from, I don't know if I showed it in a haul video. It's certainly on my Instagram page or my Facebook page if you follow there. But I actually have a woman illustration where she's wearing a rooster hat, chicken hat, and I believe it was also related to the this is like a play, the Chanticleer, whatever. So that looks like it's something related, so that's cool. Ooh, we didn't turn you. There we go. So we got a little seesaw. It'll go a little big for the seesaw, but many good reasons why I'm staying at blank. This is one of them, so I'm assuming it's the ladies that's causing him to stay. But in any case, cartoon here. Please close the door from the outside, so he's got in the boot. Some Native American comic. Not exactly proper these days, but let's see. Don't look now, but I think your papoose has slipped. Yeah. Linen card. Sent from Maine, I suppose, or picked up in Maine. And we got some tree huggers. They're probably just showing how big the tree is, but got some rifles in the foreground, some big old pine cones. If you actually have these supersized pine cones, they can sell well on eBay as well. But, wrapped around a redwood there. Postal used. And we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back with the next batch. Alrighty, as you know, I typically do not sell the Black Americana postcards because a lot of them are definitely derogatory. I'm not going to read this one. You can pause it if you like, especially today of all days. But I do show them just because they do exist, and I think we should at least acknowledge that this was a part of history, and unfortunately, every day we're seeing it is still part of history. But anyways, we'll move on from that to green timber. So, not exactly sure what we got going on here, but it's sort of like a treehouse kind of thing of a sort. I don't know. Interesting. Anyways. All right. The King's Royal Scepter. That's pretty. Got some, looks like scrapbook residue on the back there. Nothing wild out of this batch so far. Flint Firefighter. That could be good. Old firefighters are collectible. Can't really zoom in too much on this one. But nice old fire engine, horse-drawn. Got the firefighters there. Assuming that says repro? I don't know. But anyways, copyright's 1941 on this. It's got undivided back, but it's way beyond undivided back period. Anyways, rear view, old Geo Davenport home, Rock Island Arsenal, yada yada, Illinois. So we're in Illinois. We got a house, old house, Illinois. It's looking a little rough. Postally used, Clinton, Iowa, 1908. Lone Star has a big old cow steer thing, moo. Buff. Rough condition, again, a lot of discoloration. Got a big old JJ carved into its side there. That's no fun. Rolio on the sign back there. I don't know. Not seen that one before, but I imagine it's probably fairly common. And you got some information on the back with the owner, etc. All right, we got a little Western gunfight going on here. He's looking like he's having a bad day there. Firing his pistol, got a rifle there, horseback. The Fence Line Fight by Paul Gregg. Nice scene there. Conditions okay on this one. Corners are rough, but not too bad. Postally used, but not sure when exactly. But interesting card. Westerns can be good. I've not seen that one before. Here we got another linen comic. Not my favorite things in the world, but because I have no sense of humor. But anyways, you'll like it here. We have such lovely things. And she's got her garden hoe dressed a certain way on the farm there. So T Farms. I'm not sure if this is advertising as well, but anyways, that's what we got. We do have a signature down here as well. Something Jackson, Jerry Jackson, I don't know, Jay Jackson. All right, horse-drawn carriage scene. Got a little MP initials there. It's a nice scene. Birch tree, good condition. Unused on the back, foreign card. Hamburg American Line, so it's a cruise ship, I suppose. Viewing that place. We're somewhere in Asia, I presume, from Tiger Hill. So they're Cleveland tourists. Anyways, all sorts of information on the back there. But that's interesting. That's different. As potential. Sent to Newburgh, New York in 1912. The Pier from East Promenade, Bogner Regis. It's a nice harbor scene, promenade scene. Tea garden, looks like bluebirds. Pier Cinema. We got some signage there, which is cool. Anything on the back? No, unused. Nothing on the back. A little bit of creasing, but not too bad. Another comic. Don't worry about me. I never go where I can't touch bottom. So not so appropriate card. Again, sort of a product of the time. This one I will sell, but I do not approve. Alrighty. Some more comics. You have to watch your step here, or the gals will get their backs up. Okay. I'm sure the delivery's better from other people, but a little risque comic card there. All right, now we're into a small batch of Continentals, and then we'll wrap up with some more standards, but some fun ones. All right, so we got some sort of art going on here. I don't know if that is Poseidon. attacking the ship. I don't know what's happening. I'm sure maybe hopefully I can translate that on the back and it'll give you an answer. You can see it's a matching stamp here. Is that Reykjavik, Iceland? I don't know. It'll be an interesting one to look up. It's 1981, so not too old, but interesting nonetheless. A little first day cover, I suppose. Not sure exactly what's going on here. Some sort of abstract art, I suppose. Looks like a bunch of scratches and stuff, which I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at. Some art by Mark Toby, Above the Earth. So is that like a view from like a satellite view kind of thing? I don't know. Whatever. 1980 copyright on that one. All right, this one could be good. As you've seen from my What Sold videos, I do sell a lot of Hindu art-related postcards, and I don't know that this is Hindu art, but it certainly has that same vibe to it. So I'll look into this one. But person riding an elephant there, and the elephant looks actually quite happy. And then you got a little bit of information on the back there. That's cool. Duck, common loon, something of the sort. A little duckling there. Nice art piece. Nothing on the back. A little discoloration, but not too bad. Let's see. You got some birds over the water. Got a bit of a signature there. It's a nice dynamic scene. Probably $5-6. I do surprisingly well with rough ocean seas. Well in the sense that they actually sell. They don't sell for a lot, but they do move, which was surprising to me. All right, we got some sort of train yard here. This looks familiar. I wonder if I've had this card or something similar. But Legrand, I think, is what it says there. Something of the sort. But old little train station. Blank back. This actually, it's a Kodak back. You can't see it here. It's kind of washed out on the scan. But it's Kodak photo paper, so this is actually more like just a photo print, postcard size. Interesting. We got the three wise men. Bit of a mosaic kind of looking scene. We got the three magi. Got another mosaic kind of scene here. I'm not sure. Is that a miniature horse? A little mini horse pony? I guess. I don't know, but it's from one of the basilicas there. You can see the back. Got a shepherd. Maybe it was a lamb? Maybe it was a lamb. We got a shepherd here. All right, some sayings. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Be a trailblazer, I suppose, is what they're saying. Northwestern Ontario, Canada card. All right, a few of these floral cards. Foreign, I think German, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But floral scene. Here's the back. Got another one. These are probably about $5. Then we have a couple cardinals, Christmas cardinals. We do have a Sherm person here. Person. But male and female cardinal, winter scene. Season's greetings. And then we got another one as well. Different artist, though, I think. All right, we got some pheasants. Nice little pheasants. Looks like another German winter scene. I think. I'm not sure. Nothing on the back, though. These look like little illustrated scenes. We do got remnants of a artist signature there, but Ashted Park, maybe? Not sure where that is off the top of my head. Look on the back there. It does say pencil etch. So, made in England, so I'm going to guess it's a UK location. And then similar, this is, I guess, like Ashted Park again. Got people walking along a little pond here. Nice scene. Say judges, maybe? Fudges? Judges or fudges for the artist. Similar back there. Yeah, Judges Limited. So that's artist is Judges. All right. Got some more floral going on here. Little garden scene. Okay, that's rosemary. Got the artist there, or the photographer. Little moving humor postcard, I guess. Interesting. Little discoloration there. Okay, so it's a change of address card. It's just kind of made to look a little older. 1984, Houston, Texas. Heidelberg. Discoloration on this card, but some sort of old Heidelberg Dear City poem. Probably fairly common, but we'll take a look. And then we got another floral scene here. All right, take a quick break, and then we will wrap up with the last cards. Alrighty, we have the last small handful of cards here. These are all cards that I couldn't run through the duplex scanner, or at least I did not want to run through the duplex scanner. So these I had to scan on the flatbed, which takes a little bit more time, but safer for everyone involved. So this is a glitter card, which is why this one couldn't go through the scanner. The glitter will or can scratch the glass on your scanners. A lot of this early glitter is mica, which is a mineral. But anyway, case this one says best wishes, Molly, and I think it's Plubel. Little floral scene on the back there, so you see Molly again, and it looks like Plubel to me. But somewhere in Pennsylvania there, 1909. Let's see. Anyways, this is a type of card that's going to sit a while because it's very specific. But you get anyone in the Plubel family or doing genealogical research or something, and it might find its way there. This one has a bit of like a velvety kind of feel to it. And there's a whole series. I don't know if they're a series, but there's a whole bunch of different types of Mexico postcards that have this sort of velvety kind of feel to them. I've really enjoyed them. I have a couple in my collection that are a bit more colorful than this one, but this one says Mexico, and I presume 1970 there. Aztec or Mayan art there in the center. Nice red, nice and clean. This one's actually pretty decent condition there. Okay, so it does say Aztec on the back. Aztec coat of arms. With a little bit of information here. Football, soccer, world championship. That's kind of cool. The soccer may give it a little extra value there. And then this one here, this one's another Mexico 70s soccer. This one's all nice in rainbow colors. This is more like what I have in my own collection, not soccer, but the multicolors. And part of what I like it, I don't know if it's going to show, but if you put the black light on it, the colors really pop. I don't know that it's actually reacting with the UV light like like a black light art can. It certainly has that vibe with the colors and the feel. Again, it's got that black velvet kind of feel to it. But it does really pick up that UV light nicely. This one is a little bit more discolored, a little bit of creasing. But I think, I don't know. I don't know what these sell for. The ones I picked up in my collection, I picked up a couple from Flip and Reel and a couple on eBay, I think. I haven't paid a huge amount for them, but I'm also cheap. So I don't know what the upper limit of these are, so we'll find out. All right, and then of course we got some embroidered ladies. We know that I enjoy the embroidered ladies, though again, rough condition on the ones in this album here. But got applied fabric, got the embroidery there, a little matador up top, tape residue. Elsie, I can never. I'm not certain how to pronounce her last name, but it's something like Gumier, Gumier. A lot of these embroidered women cards, embroidered men cards have her signature on it. Unused, but again, a lot of tape on the back, tape residue anyways. So that's probably not going to go for the full asking of 20 that I normally ask on those. This might be more of a 10 or 12, but that's okay. Here's an interesting kind of one. Again, discoloration, but not as bad a condition. Pretty woman there. Young man, I presume. Another, I guess, Spanish, but different signature there, MP. And then it looks probably made in Spain again, but yeah, just a nice one there. That one might go more for like the 15 or 16. All right. Different See, just because I mentioned that first artist, we're going to have different artists on all of these ones now. But another nice scene here, a little rough condition. This next one's pretty. We got the ships in the background. The signature there, I think that's the first person again. But beautiful red on that one. With the rose in the hair, the black hat. This one's nice. This one I'll list for 20. It is a blank back though. And then this is another embroidered card. This has been trimmed really kind of weird, especially on the left and right margins here. But it is the Last Supper. Got a little bit of abrasion here, but Jesus and some of the apostles are embroidered there. And I've actually had pretty good luck with embroidered religious cards. I don't usually pick up religious cards on purpose too often. There are certain ones I will. The embroidered cards I will. I sold a few of them for around $20. And then if I see real photo postcards, especially of clergymen or nuns, things like that, I'll pick those up as well. Back on that. This one I had pulled aside because I thought it was actually a leather postcard, but it's actually just it's made to look like it's just a regular paper card. So nothing too exciting there. Faux leather. And then last but not least is this silhouette card. This is handmade. You can see it's got all this little frill added to it. The white insert here is not perfectly center. The oval is not perfectly cut. You know, it's a true handmade piece. Now I know old silhouettes postcards can do really well. This one's from 1993, so I don't know, but it'll be something we can research and find out. So that is that. That is album 21. A lot of goodies in this one. A lot of rough condition, but I think the topics will make up for some of that. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, all that jazz. And we will catch you on the next video. I'm going to try to do one of these album videos a week until I'm done with them. That likely means I will be showing you albums before I finish listing previous ones, but from a visual standpoint, I don't think that matters to you unless you're trying to track down those cards to buy them. So anyways, that's enough rambling. We'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.